Evening. This is Elizabeth Whitaker, Divination Station Tarot on Three of Cups Divine Arts. We're going to go ahead and let the live catch up here. There we go. Okay. Hi, everyone. Again, we'll go ahead and let people pop up. As always, it's 8 p.m. on Monday. So this is Elizabeth Whitaker of Divination Station Tarot, live on Three of Cups. Give people a few minutes to pop in here. As you're jumping on, if you could just go ahead and... Perfect. Kimberly, hi. And I will go ahead and get the list started with you. Okay, so it looks like things are popping on here. We got some people on. Awesome. Thank you for joining. I'm going to share this out right now on my end, so bear with me for a couple moments. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know your name. Say hi, where you are watching from. Pronouns, if you want to share that. And like I said, looks like we got a bunch of people popping on here. Awesome. Like I said, I'm just going to go ahead and share it out to my page. And as you're popping in, yeah, a lot of you already know the drill. Hi, Caitlin. Happy Monday. I'm going to go ahead and get it shared out. And if you do want a card at the end, after we go through tarot lesson here, we will go you. And there we go. All that takes is a share. So comment #shared so I know that you did share the post, and we will get you a card. Well, I will get you a card after the lesson. And we are going over the sun today. So we are almost to the end of the Fool's journey. So we're at that phase where, we've gone through the kind of dark night of the soul, to get really into it there with the star, the tower, the star, the moon. Now is the next day, right? So we have that next day moment where we wake up and the sun is shining. Think of it as when the sun shines after, a night of thunderstorms. And all right, so thank you for joining. This is Liz Whitaker of Divination Station Tarot on Three of Cups Divine Arts, brought to you by True Paranormal, the podcast. Again, I'm Liz Whitaker, your host for this evening. Again, we're going to be going over the sun and how having a dose of optimism can really help us, after some dark times. When you pop in, don't forget to like, love, wow, react the video, share it out. We'll get you a card, #shared, and tag your friends, all that happy stuff. All right, so as you are sharing out, go ahead and, there we go. Oh my gosh. All right, so I'm catching up on the comments right now. So I see Jennifer, Stella. Jennifer, hello. Stella. So how this works is, what I do is I go over kind of like a mini tarot lesson. And at the end of the broadcast, usually about 15-20 minutes left, I will do one card draws. So if you do want a card at the end, if you share it out, just comment #shared. If you look in the comments, a couple people already have. Caitlin and Kimberly have already shared out. So just do #shared. So there we go. I see ya. All right. And then I keep a list as I'm going. And I try to make sure that I keep up with that. And we have Michelle, Charlie. Awesome. Thank you. Charlie, Sunshine. How is everybody doing today? Just drop in the comments, just a couple words about how you're doing. I'm doing pretty well. I'm getting adjusted in my new spot. As you know, I moved at the beginning of the month, which was a crazy time to move, I know, but I'm in, it's done, I'm getting unpacked, and things are feeling really good. I'm good. Kind of adjusting to the new normal. I've been 3 weeks out of my day job, so I've been technically laid off for 3 weeks. I took a week off a couple weeks ago, just of everything, and I just chilled. I literally Netflix and chilled with my cat for like a week. But I'm back, kind of back in the groove, getting a routine in, and it feels good. All right, Ashley, hi. So we are about 6 minutes in. So I will go ahead and start the lesson. So we have a few new people on, so I will just go ahead and kind of go over what I have been doing for the last several weeks at this point. Katie, I am very sorry to hear that. How I will be going through a lesson on tarot, and I will be doing card pulls at the end of the broadcast for a card. Just go ahead and share the broadcast out. To schedule a reading with me, you can message me directly on my page. I will get the link down there for you, Kimberly. And you can message me to schedule. I am doing video chat readings now, and it's working out. It's working out really well. I'm really enjoying it. I really feel, the same, that I can get the same connection with a video chat. So I've had some really good luck with that. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that down there for you, Kimberly. And thank you for asking. All right. And there we go. So we are on the sun. How's that for you? So the sun is a very intense card. It's a very cheerful card. It's a very I shouldn't say very, nothing in tarot is ever, very straightforward. There's always more to it, right? But it is happiness. It is sunshine. Tessa, got you. It is, like I said, after that kind of dark night of the soul that we have gone through with the Tower and the Star, where we have that hope and inspiration kind of pulling us through. And then we have the Moon, where we are reflected, ourselves are reflected. We need some hope. We need some optimism. That hope is great, but we need that to actually come into fruition. And that is exactly what the sun is. So the sun, we're at that morning, the bright summer morning. I always describe this card as a really bright, sunny summer day. Where you wake up, the birds are singing, the sky is blue, the sun is bright, everything is just facing its, face to the sun. The sunflowers are there, which are, the kind of universal symbol for happiness and optimism. If you walk into, I know kitchens and bathrooms are often decorated with like sunflowers, and you just feel good being there. So the sun is clarity. It is simplicity. It is the simplicity of a nice day and a good mood. It is rationality. In the Moon and the sun, we have these moments of mystery and shadow work. We have this idea of everything's kind of hidden. But when the sun comes out, all the shadows are gone. We work through it all, and we're in that bright moment. So we're there. It sheds light. The sun sheds light on the mysterious. So like I said, it kind of burns away the shadows and allows us to live in the light. I shine brightly was one of the quotes that popped up. And another one that kind of popped into my head was shine bright like a diamond. And that's, pretty much what you think of when you see this card. It is represented by fire. So it's an elemental, has an elemental correspondence. It does not have a direct zodiac correspondence like some of the cards do. This has an elemental and a planetary correspondence. So it is fire, and it is the sun. So that's pretty straightforward. So when it does come up, again, you kind of have that bright sunny day feeling. It is glory. It is optimism. It is celebration. It is attainment. So after we work and we put in, all of this deep personal work, we put in all of these deep dives, it's when we get to that goal. It's the attaining that goal that we've set for ourselves. It's that moment we have it. It is being open to new ideas, optimism, childlike happiness. So again, it's like being a kid going outside in like summer vacation where you have like no cares in the world. You can do, whatever you want. It's like that feeling of simplicity and happiness. And kind of after, the fool's journey that we've been on, it's almost like it's like that breath of like relief. Like we need this. So, hopefully, I know as a, collective in the world right now, we're not quite there yet. We're still going back and forth from, tower moment, adjusting to the new normal, the star, the moon, being alone with ourselves, kind of reflecting back, working through all of this stuff that comes up when we don't have our normal coping mechanisms or distraction techniques. So we're not quite at that sun moment yet, but it always comes, right? The sun literally always comes up, always rises. So it's that regularity too. So Apollo, the Greek god Apollo, is the god of the sun. It's also the god that brought civilization to people. So Christina, hi, how are ya? Seeker of the truth. The truth is unveiled. We're pulling away the shadows. We're shining a light in the darkness. And in that light, we find the truth. Ramona, hi, thank you. So when you see this, it's kind of like, okay, that's a great card. How can this be, everybody says there's no good cards or bad cards in tarot. How can the sun be bad at all? Well, it can be overexposure. It can be intensity. It can be a level of intensity that is hard to maintain, or hard to obtain and hard to maintain. I always get a little overwhelmed when I pull the sun. It's a little intense. I have a lot in my chart that, good, glad to hear it, Christina. I have a lot of things in my chart that would indicate that I would love to see the sun, that I would love going out into the heat. But I have some undercurrents of like Neptunian and Plutonian veins where I don't particularly care to be out in the sun too much, as my skin indicates. Also means I'm perpetually vitamin D deficient, but welcome to living in the Northeast. Anybody that is here in Buffalo with me, or I know there's a lot of people in Ohio, anybody up and down, Northeast, we tend to get real vitamin D deficient. I know Christina might not have that problem on the West Coast, but we get, hi Francis. So the sun can be very intense. Every year in, April or late March, that first sunny, kind of warm day in Buffalo, you see everybody walking around with, tank tops, short sleeve shirt. I mean, granted, it's still 50 degrees, but we're walking around like it's 70 because it just feels wonderful to us. And the next day, you see everybody posting their like first sunburns because we haven't seen the sun in months. I know. What is the sun? What is the sun? So when I pull it, it does feel overwhelming, and that's okay. So just because the sun means all of these, I definitely take vitamin D every day as well. I try to keep it up. So if you do see the sun and you don't necessarily feel drawn to that happiness and optimism, that's okay. Because that intensity can be a lot. It can be, and I just kind of got pictured, being at an amusement park in July when the sun won't stop beating down. You can't avoid it. That's kind of the downside of it. You can't avoid it when it's out. You just have to go inside and kind of find that kind of shade. So that's why the sun it's a wonderful card to see. Usually means things are on an upswing, but it can be overwhelming, and that's okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and pop in here and say, if you do want a card pull at the end of the broadcast, please share the live feed, share it onto your feed, onto a group, tag a friend, anything that will help us grow, help us at Three of Cups Divine Arts grow organically, and comment hashtag shared, and I'll get you on my list. Jenna, hi. So right now, what balances the sun? I would say, actually, I'm picturing Four of Swords. That was kind of the first thing that popped into my head for some reason. So it's almost like that check-in with yourself and check your energy output versus your recharge status is kind of what I'm feeling. So that's kind of what I'm feeling with that. You can, anybody else can pop into what you think might balance the sun, because I don't necessarily think what's going to balance the sun is darkness, which feels like it might, but I almost feel like if you hit sun energy, you just kind of have to moderation, right? Everything in moderation. So yeah, checking it with something like that. So right now, I'm just going to go ahead and do a quick list of the people that I've caught that have shared. If you did and I don't have your name here, just comment and I'll make sure to get you. So you have Kimberly, Caitlin, Stella, Charlie, Sunshine, Tessa, Maria, Pia, Ramona, and Jenna. Reflect off my sword. That's actually a good point too. So the sun kind of reflecting thing off of, can reflect off. So you're kind of like, and again, Katie, if you do want that, I will go ahead and pull a card for you. We just want to make sure that we're sharing it out. The moon. Okay. The moon is that cool light. And that moon is, that reflective state. Temperance. Ooh. So temperance. Alex, how do you feel about temperance being a nice balance for the sun? Six of Swords, and that sort of movement, flow, temperance. Yeah, anything that kind of like balances that out, and that reflection instead of that direct action. So yeah, go ahead and keep throwing your ideas there, right? So I do know, so I'm gonna just share this here. Alex is a Sagittarius and is very familiar with temperance. So I think that's great, Ramona. That who Maria Pia. I think it's great that you suggested temperance. So we'll go ahead and kind of look at the other cards, the other versions of the sun that are out there. So of course, going over the other two of the big three. So here we have, instead of the kind of naked baby on a horse, we have these two like childlike. They're not quite twins, maybe siblings, friends, kind of playing outside, and then you have the sun. We do have the wall and those kind of energy drops that we've talked about before. So that's the Tarot de Marseille. So again, we have that sun taking up the better portion of the card and kind of shedding light on the two children. And again, it does feel like they're playing outside. I don't know if if children didn't wear the rest of their clothes. I don't know. But that is a Tarot de Marseille. The other kid is, I'm going to throw it. Is that the game they're playing? Is that... So that's the Tarot de Marseille sun. And then, of course, we have the Thoth deck sun. So again, the sun, that imagery is the main part of the card. And then we have here those two figures as well. These figures look more, there's two, like the Tarot de Marseille, but they're more, the pose is more similar to the Rider-Waite-Smith. And then we have down here, we have the crab kind of holding everything up, which is interesting. And then we also have zodiac signs. Okay, so I see. So there's zodiac signs all around. So the sun is kind of in the middle of that zodiac wheel. So that's interesting. And then down here, of course, we have the sun and the Hebrew letter. So it was brought up a couple times that the sun represents the head in Kabbalah. And it is, I do have it here, it is Resh, or the head. So if you look at the tree of life, it is the head, it is the top. So the sun represents that. So there we have that Thoth deck. And Tarot of the Cat People. So here we have, a lion makes sense in place of an actual sun. We do have the people that look like they are, my feed is a little twitchy, so I do apologize, but what I'm seeing is a little twitchy, so I'm sorry if it's twitchy on your end too. But we kind of have this this lion that looks like he's almost like hypnotizing the two figures that are in like worship. So that's kind of interesting too. And that is the sun in Tarot of the Cat People. I have got a couple decks because of course I did, because why would I not? I just picked up the Cosmic Tarot yesterday. So this almost looks like an alpine summer day where the sun is out and the sky is clear, but there's still a little bit of like crispness to the air. So here we do have the sun, and we see that it is kind of shining right now with the borders of celestial skies around it. And then we have the kid there. Maybe it's because it looks like the kid's wearing lederhosen. But it reminds me of like an alpine, that kind of cooler summer day. But, we have surrounded by nature. So we have that idea of being out in nature. And this, little blonde kid with a bowl cut. And I also got Everyday Goddess wisdom cards. So this is kind of an interesting deck. So this has affirmations on the bottom, and it has ways to use them as affirmations or as prayers or invocations, things like that. This says at the bottom here, and I'm going to read it because it's real tiny and it will not show through the video. It says, I am blessed with the gift of life. I am free to create a life filled with joy, open, and connected to God. And then there's also a wisdom prayer guide that comes with it. So with the sun, may I live in the present moment. So that's the Everyday Goddess cards. So that one's really cool. I also brought the Good Tarot. So again, we have that sun imagery, and we have her holding a bouquet of sunflowers. And she almost looks like she's just kind of taking a nice little walk on a nice summer day. So the imagery for most of these cards is going to be fairly similar. In the Handel deck, we have the sun, we have that, it looks like more of like a desert landscape with that rose. Brianna, yes. So here we have that symbol for Resh. So we have the symbol, the Handel deck has the Hebrew letters as well. And it also has runes. So this one has Gebo. So it has runes in them as well. And then the planetary correspondence down there of the sun. Brianna, yes, and I got you here as sharing. So I did notice as I was pulling cards that it is really similar in most decks. And here we have, what's the name of which one? Of the one I just showed, this one? I did bring, it's the Handel deck. Haindl. Oh, that's it. And I brought this because I couldn't remember the rune on it. And we have Justin, hello. Light Seers. So the Light Seers, it almost looks like the center of, a bright tie-dye shirt. It looks like she is, kind of dancing barefoot in a meadow. It's almost like a hippie festival vibe that I'm kind of getting with this, but it also has this really kind of neat, like connection vibe, like the energy, like she's like really connecting with the energy of the sun there. It really just makes me want to grab some sunscreen for her, to be honest. But it has that really just kind of carefree dancing in the sun vibe. I did bring the Cat and Candy Nightmare deck just to get a little bit of a different imagery because everything is so similar with the sun. And this, you do have, the sun, the mountains, but then you also have this deck's imagery is a lot of skulls and cats. This is the back of the cards. This is a Kickstarter deck. One of my favorite podcasts, Anti-Fragile Tarot. Susanna did the booklet, so I had to get it. So that's a little bit of a different imagery for the sun. So that concludes the lesson for the sun. So usually I go through and I'll do tarot tip of the day. I saw this list floating around Facebook and I think it's hilarious. It is kind of like a bad tarot tip. So I'm just going to go through a few of these and just, let me know if, you've ever heard someone say these, or you're doing a reading for someone and, they say, people kind of say ridiculous things when they don't really know, and that's okay. Bad tarot tips. Pull the Fool out of the deck. That's you. You're the fool. Hand somebody the Ten of Swords right before you stab them. Ignore the Temperance card every time you pull it. It doesn't know your life. Throw your Tower card into the trash because you don't need that kind of negativity in your life. Spend an hour contemplating the heteronormativity and lack of diversity of your deck collection, and then never do anything about it. So I actually did want to mention that one. So Rider-Waite-Smith, a lot of the classic decks are very, very heteronormative and not diverse. I have seen more decks over the past couple years kind of challenge that that kind of very standard, like heteronormative, the Lovers is a man and a woman. All of the like court cards and major arcana cards are, Caucasian. I have been looking at decks that are more intersectional. New World Tarot is amazing for that. New World Tarot is amazing. It is in mass market print now. It did start as an indie Kickstarter deck. Cards are so expensive. Why would you trash any of your cards? I would just pull them out and just put them over there. I do not suggest pulling specific cards out of your deck. Only way that I would is if you are doing, if you're a professional reader and you're doing an event that's kind of supposed to be lighthearted, and Lightseers Tarot, is very diverse. If you're doing an event that's supposed to be really lighthearted and you're just doing one card pulls and you have something like the Devil or the Tower in there, I have known readers that do pull those, like the real heavy cards. They'll pull a couple of those out just so they don't get inundated with negativity at an event like that. I read at a Pride event last summer, and if I do that again, just the one card donation reading, I might do that, but I'm not going to trash the cards. Lightseers Tarot is diverse. I did share in my personal Facebook group, the Divination Station Facebook group. There's a couple decks that are in Kickstarter right now that are very diverse, LGBTQ plus friendly, and I did back some of those, so I have a few more in my deck collection. I am really loving the Lightseers Tarot, though. I probably talked about it last week, but I'm going to say it again. I really did think it kind of struck me as a little bit of love and light only, kind of like hippie, dippy, new agey. But then I saw readings with it and I was like, it's amazing. And I got it and I love it. Justin, will that give a proper reading even though you take the cards out? So when I do that, I'm not doing full readings. When I would do that is if I am at, an event, like a fundraiser event, something. I'm not doing full readings. I'm just doing one card pulls for people, or 3 card pulls. I would not do that. We're doing full readings. So I would never take the cards out for a reading specific event. But if I'm going to an event just to kind of add a little bit to it, then I might pull, a couple of those cards that appear scary to people that aren't familiar with tarot. So I hope that clarifies a little bit. because people, at events like that, they're looking for something they want a card pull, but they're really not looking to do any like deep soul work that day. They're out, with friends to get snacks and, support an event, something like that. So Justin, I hope that clarifies. If it doesn't, I'll definitely chat with you about it. But if I'm ever doing readings like this, I don't take them out. If I do events, I don't take them out. And I thought that the bad tarot tips were just kind of funny and a little bit snarky. But yeah, you do not have to, if you don't want to read with a deck that's very heteronormative and very like Caucasian centric, you can find alternatives out there. And New World Tarot actually has a pocket version that she just put out, and that's on Croadcore, CROADCORE.com, or Silver Sprockets. So they're a little bit more like wieldy, because the size of the deck, it's over there. The size of the deck is real big, and my hands are real small. So I actually did order the smaller deck. All right, so I will go ahead and get to the card pulls. Again, if you do want a card reading, again, just go ahead and share the feed out, comment #shared, and I'll get you. I am keeping a list here, so if I do not get to you and you did share, please let me know if anybody, right? Yes, Croadcore is awesome. Christy Rode she's a super rad punk rock chick. She's been doing it for ages, and she is super rad. I follow her on Instagram, and Croadcore is awesome. And I'm happy to get a smaller deck that I can actually shuffle and use. All right, so we have Kimberly first, Spellcasters Tarot. Oh, I've been interested in Spellcasters Tarot. Justin, gotcha. All right, so Kimberly. Oh, I'm using the Light Seers for my card pulls today, just in case you haven't noticed, because I love it. So Kimberly, the Chariot. Moving forward in a very balanced way. Like the figure, like he's on top of like the coach instead of like inside and driving. So he has to have balance. He has to trust that the people, well, his horses. So you have to trust the people that you are going on your journey with, or I don't want to say leading you, like you're following them. But the people you are holding the reins. You have to trust your entire, kind of everything around you to go at your pace as well. Raven Prophet, I love the Necronomicon Tarot. I don't have it personally, but I have seen it. I have seen it in use, and it kind of cuts right to the issue. I know someone that uses that deck, the Necronomicon Tarot, for shadow work. So when they need to do shadow work, really reflecting on kind of what you might not be super proud of, what you wouldn't describe, not the top 3 words you would describe yourself. Necronomicon Tarot is good for that shadow work. All right, Caitlin. Death and Rebirth. Didn't someone get that? I swear I pulled this card for someone. Maybe it wasn't on this broadcast, but I know. No, Caitlin, you got Ace of Cups last week, and yes, I do keep track of the cards I pull for everyone, because that's the kind of person that I am. So Death and Rebirth. So Caitlin, something kind of coming to an end, but also bringing through the light of rebirth. So it's like that light at the end of the tunnel is kind of what I'm getting with this. So, last week we had that new like emotional opportunity with that new font of emotions. And how is that changing you now? How has kind of going through that week? Where are you now with that? So, and I love how it has that death and rebirth. All right, Stella, Beverly Brown Divine Oracle card, Divine Energy Oracle cards. I'll have to check those out. Oh, I have a ton of Oracle cards too. But since this is a tarot-centric broadcast, I tend to bring Oracle cards. Sometimes I do Oracle readings. I'm part of Resourceful Raven. It is a sister group to Three of Cups Divine Arts. So if you are interested in that, find Resourceful Raven and go ahead and join that group. And I do readings 8 p.m. on Wednesdays, and I'll pull different decks out for that, including Oracle decks. All right, and next we have Stella. I do just want to kind of do a little quick sponsor break here. Divination Station is sponsored by True Paranormal, the podcast. Leo Rizzuti takes you on a journey into the supernatural with the mysterious, the strange, and things that simply cannot be explained. Join in by following True Paranormal, the podcast, on Facebook, and you will be treated to spooky stories, tips for doing your own investigation, as well as interviews with paranormal investigations. So again, check out True Paranormal, the podcast, with Leo Rizzuti. Thank you. All right, so Stella. Ooh, Page of Swords. I love her pants. Okay, they look like they're like those like kind of plaid, like fun pants. So Page of Swords. This almost kind of reminds me of like a Hermione Granger card. She is full of ideas, like she's being carried by her ideas. She is walking that kind of tightrope between knowledge and the real world. So you can kind of get to, where you like find a new topic and you find something and you're like so carried away about it. You get so excited about studying it. That's kind of the feeling that I'm getting from Page of Swords. Yeah, like the whole thing is like, it's awesome. Okay, real talk, I've been binging Harry Potter, so that's where I am. So this is it's like Hermione Granger, but it also has that real like Ravenclaw feel. Guys, I'm so sorry. I'm such a nerd, but so it really has that feeling of really being swept away with new knowledge. It's that is so perfect. I love it. Thank you, Stella. All right. Charlie is next. Yeah, like I said, I love the Lightseers Tarot. And for as much as I wasn't into it and didn't quite, I am. I really am. I did finish Crime Grindelwald yesterday. So I just have to find somewhere that that I can stream Deathly Hallows Part 1 and 2. Because I've only seen those a couple times each. Death and Rebirth. So again, Charlie, really do a check-in as far as how has this week, how is this month, this whole like really super surreal almost. This past month has been real weird, right? So wherever you are in like life, it's weird. it's basically affecting everybody in some way, shape, or form. And really kind of do a check-in and saying what sort of changes, what sort of transformations is this bringing through for you? I do also want to bring up, we are entering Pluto retrograde. I know I talked last week. I did some talk on shadow work because we did the moon. And now entering into Pluto retrograde is all about shadow work. So, Charlie, for you, I'm really going to say look into that and look into how this like bizarre, like alternate, like reality zone that we've been in for the past month. How is that? What does that mean for you? Has it brought up anything? Has it brought up like shadow work for yourself? Has it brought up anything that you need to address? It's a great time to do it. Pluto's going to be in retrograde until, I want to say, November. It's a while. So we're all going to kind of be in this real weird flux of a lot of shit coming up. Things not really seeming to work out on like a big scale, or on like the big picture kind of stuff. So kind of keep an eye out for that. I'm going to do a little bit more. I'm going to do a little bit of like shadow work safety suggestions. Don't try to do it alone if you can help it. And I don't mean don't socially distance, but what I mean is get a plan. Have a plan for shadow work, especially since we are practicing social distancing to the best of our ability. So have a plan in place first, in case shit goes bonkers and you get into some really dark places. And maybe, try to keep a list of shadow work unless you can have that support network. If you have, first and foremost, I'm going to say therapists, counselors, any mental health professional. I don't want to say on call, but if you're working with them already, great. Have someone that you can go to if things get a little bit too dark. So while we have to kind of bring it up and address it, do it safely. And we can always chat more about that later. So we have card 4, Sunshine. Ooh, the Star. So Sunshine, you are here. You are trying to like fly a kite in the stars and trying to pull down and tether that light and pull it towards you. So pulling in that light and being that beacon of light in the darkness. So you can be the star. Okay, so that is for Sunshine. It's just a really cool like image. It can, here when I look that, it almost looks like a dowsing rod, like she's been chasing the light and she found it. It resonates me. Charlie says, my guides are helping me to get where I need. Yes. They've been bugging me to start working on the things I need to work on. Yes. And like I said, safety, shadow work done safely. And, you can always, have a friend, have a person where, where like, hey, I'm going to start doing some heavy work. Can I reach out to you? And just let them know what you need ahead of time. Send me some funny memes, send me some cat videos. I need to kind of bring myself up. Or, hey, you can always ask them, I've really been doing this work. What do you think? And make sure you do get consent from the person that you're kind of, I don't want to say dumping it on, but make sure the person is in accordance with helping you with shadow work, because everybody might not be in a place to be able to do that right now. They might be doing their own. Tessa. Tessa, Two of Pentacles. So Two of Pentacles is always balance and flow. So this really does remind me of someone that does like flow work. And I don't know if that's the specific word, but people that do like hula hoops or, oh my God, my mind totally blanked. The balls on the strings that, oh my God, this is gonna be ridiculous and I'm sorry. But they kind of like throw them out and kind of do that and do cool things like that. I'm not one of those people that does cool things with things like that. So thank you for bearing with me with that. So Two of Pentacles, Tessa, balance, flow, go with the flow. Think of, pentacles always have to do with like grounding and money and materials and earthy things. So money comes in, money goes out, and just kind of not trying to control things so much. And really kind of like breathe into it and flow into it. So that's kind of my message for you, Tessa, is just flow into it. Yes, all right, and Maria Pia is up next. Leslie, all right. All right, Maria Pia, Five of Cups. So Five of Cups, cups are emotions. There are feelings. Five of Cups adds a depth of emotion. The Ace through Four, we're kind of on that like uphill. We're kind of going up. Five of Cups kind of checks us. Fives always kind of reality check us right in the middle of the journey of the suits. So Five of Cups, she is almost, it's like she dug a hole and is letting go of what's in that bowl. She's already done it with a few. So it is loss. And you can grieve that loss, even if it's for the better, even if it's a loss that will ultimately benefit you. It doesn't mean that we can't mourn it. But always she has that really full vessel next to her, and it looks like it's rainbow. It's potential. It's love. So she's maybe letting go and mourning the loss of what was in the other vessels while maintaining her grip on what she has and being grateful for that. So again, that is Maria Pia. That's Five of Cups. Yeah, her look, like the look on her face is very sad, and her whole like posture. It's like nighttime. It looks like she's in the marshes and just kind of like dug a hole to, kind of get rid of what wasn't working, or maybe she tipped the bowl over and didn't really mean to dump it out. But here we are. I'm okay with letting it go. Awesome. Thank you. All right, and Ramona. We only have a couple more weeks left on the Fool's Journey. And then we will be continuing. And I'm almost thinking that I'm just going to do one of these for every card. So as long as y'all keep watching me, I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to start off going through the suits and just going through the cards. I don't want to pack too much in because I want it to do the full hour, but I don't want to pack it with so much information. But I do, it's really teaching me a lot too, going through and doing a deep dive for each card. Even if I think I know it, like I have a good, 6 or 7 books that I go through every week, to kind of really compile, um, what really feels important to me about the card, and then I kind of synthesize it for you. Total tarot tutorial. I love it. I love it. Thank you. Oh, it's perfect. Um, so Ramona, Ace of Cups. Oh my gosh. So this is beautiful. So this Ace of Cups is still has that like overflowing, still has that feeling of, that like new relationship energy feel, but she's holding it at her heart center. So I love that. So again, this is Ramona. So really, check in, where are these new emotions coming from? Is it overwhelming? It's like it's overwhelming because we're kind of doing different things with emotions right now, right? We can't go and, if we have a hard day, we can't go and hug our, partners unless we live with them. We can't go hug our best friend or our mom, when we had a hard day. We can't celebrate with our grandma. We can't do that right now. So how are we shifting with that? Yeah, isn't that gorgeous? So again, that is Ramona. All right, and Jenna is next. And yeah, I'm totally going to use Total Tarot Tutorial because I love alliteration. I adore alliteration, I should say. And it's perfect. And I'll totally credit you too, because I'm good like that. Awesome. I know, and it is hard. And I'm not really I will hug freely to those that I love and care about and I'm comfortable with, but I'm not like a free hugger to stranger kind of person. And it's still, it's taking its toll on me. So, people out there that have touch as their love language, I feel so much. I see your struggle. I really do. And it's really, a time to shift that focus. Jenna, ooh, Queen of Pentacles. I've pulled this card a couple times, for clients this week, and I love the energy of this card. It is completely grounded, complete bear in that earthly realm. And it almost looks like she's holding this as like a cross stitch hoop. And really, her whole outfit is very very earthy and muted in tone, but at the same time, the vibrant emerald headscarf and the red pillow kind of reminds me of that Empress, that earthy energy. So really, right? So Jenna, really make sure you're doing your grounding work. I know last week, you had, Page of Swords last week. So maybe this past week you've had some time to kind of process through some of those the stab energy with that, and you're really able to kind of tone it down and really get into a vibe. That's kind of what I'm getting into a vibe, getting into a groove, and really finding a pattern with that. I'm very close to my family. No living family members left. To be not near, yeah. All right. And Jenna, that was Queen of Pentacles. And Brianna is next. Knight of Pentacles. So the Knight of Pentacles is, so his horse is kind of following him, and we have those beautiful discs there. And he's really just, he's out there, he's doing the work. He is, so this is what I'm getting with this, is you are putting in the work, you're putting in the time, putting in the hours to get to where you want to go. You know, a garden doesn't get planted in, right away. You can't just go and throw seeds, right? You can, but you kind of have like an anarchy flower bed, which I'm all about. But if you want to, cultivate and, have your zucchini and have your green beans, and, you have to get those fields ready. You have to go out and, plow and till and turn the soil. You have to make sure that everything is, if you're adding, fertilizer or ashes or, things like that, you have to put in that work. A Knight of Pentacles is that steady workhorse card. So that is for Brianna. Knight of Pentacles. Yes. All right. And Justin, you are up next. Yeah. And like I said, when I've been working with these cards for myself in my own practice. I have been able to get to kind of a back to basics practice for myself. So I have been pulling these for myself daily as well. And like they just resonate. But of course, that doesn't stop me from getting other decks. But what are you gonna do? All right, so Justin, this is for you. Page of Wands. So Page of Wands has that energy to get out and do it. She's got that wand, and is she perfect? Again, is it catching? Is it throwing? It looks like she is, ready to kind of jump into that adventure. Wands are all about action. And Page of Wands is that like student, that learning kind of energy. So she, really does look like she is kind of approaching her new, like she's javelin throwing. She's approaching it with like vigor. She's approaching it with energy. And, reminiscent of the Rider-Waite-Smith, on her pants there are salamanders. So in the court cards, in the Rider-Waite-Smith, every card has salamanders. And so she has that salamander energy, which is adaptability, which is resiliency. They were called fire lizards because when people would put logs into the fire, salamanders would run out. So they thought that salamanders were made of fire, but really they were just chilling in the log and it got too hot and they ran out. And their kind of damp and moist, like amphibian skin, protected them for that little like jaunt out of the flames. So that's for Justin. Page of Wands. Alex, you are next. And Brianna, I'm glad. Working very hard for my future. Yes. And that's the Knight of Pentacles is a really great card to get for that. All right, we got Alex and Leslie. And then we will wrap up. Alex, Queen of Pentacles. How about that? I'm looking to take action in my new career. Okay. So yeah, then taking action, is something to kind of go ahead in. So Alex, Queen of Pentacles. So I think for you right now, being in your home and kind of really doing that, taking care of that nurturing, turning that nurturing energy inward, and really making sure you are making the right decisions for you, and really, taking time to nurture yourself, taking time to, yeah. And just kind of really doing grounding work, especially if you are looking into doing shadow work, making sure you have a practice for grounding and getting in touch with the divine feminine while grounding. That's kind of coming through. So again, that's Alex, Queen of Pentacles. And Leslie. King of Wands. I'm a real big fan of most of the kings in this deck and the queens. Just going to be honest here. They got real good looking court cards. So King of Wands, he has kind of forged that path. He has gained the trust of those around him. He is still ready to be active in. So, if you think of a king, you can sometimes think of them, just ruling. He wants to get in there. He still wants to get in there and do the thing. So, like Justin had the page of one page is like really raring to go. And yeah, the lion behind him, it's not a threatening lion. It almost feels like they're like partners. So that King of Wands energy is the divine masculine in the wand suit. So it is, my wrist was getting tired. So we have that energy of he will act. He will not act impulsively. He will act with intention, with experience, and with knowledge. So you can trust. So right now for you, Leslie, you can trust that your actions will be done with intention. So as long as, you kind of don't act rash or hesitant, or don't act rashly, kind of not hesitate or you are second guessing, you almost intuitively know the right way to go. Because again, you have that like experience of right action, one of the eightfold path, right action. That is really, I think, what this King of Wands is giving me. Right action, trustworthy. Like he's got your back, and if he has your back, that means that lion also has your back, because that lion has his back. And through the transitive property, the lion also has your back. I hope that made sense. These things make sense in my head. Sometimes when I say them, it feels a little, I just hope other people follow me sometimes. I do want to thank you all for joining me. I did pop my link for my divination page. If you did want to book a private reading with me, my readings are still 25% off. They're going to continue to be 25% off for video chat readings for the foreseeable future. So 30 minutes would be $35 and a full hour would be $45. So I'm still running that special. You just got to reach out to me and we can schedule a time to do a video chat. Again, my perfect. did just revamp my Etsy, and I'm doing spell bags there. So some of you, it's your first time virtually meeting me. I am also eclectic witch. I practice somewhere between um, chaos magic, herbal magic, crystal magic, a little bit of everything. But I do have an Etsy shop too. And it is Witch's Hearth Creations. Witch Hearth Creations, because Witch's Hearth was one letter too long. But I have spell bags there for different things. I can do custom. I also have teacup altars up there. So that's just a little bit of my shameless self-promotion for the night. Again, if you are part of Resourceful Raven, I go live in that group every Wednesday at 8 p.m. And that's just readings. So whether I'm doing, and I like that because I can kind of pick different decks and kind of get in touch with some old favorites, or, kind of work on some new ones. So join me there. You do have to request to be admitted into the group. So just, request to join, answer the questions. It's a great, relaxed group, tons of really good information in there. And she's got a really good series of lives there too. So again, yeah, it's the sister group for Three of Cups Divine Arts. Pop over there. And if you're not part of the Three of Cups Divine Arts group, also request to join that. Because again, really great information. We can go a little bit deeper than the lives too. So I'm going to go ahead and sign off. I do want you all to stay safe, stay healthy. And yeah, thank you so much for your support. It really does mean a lot, especially since I am really missing my events and I'm really missing my in-person appointments. And this really gives me, really kind of gives me some of that interaction that I love. And I wish I could see all y'all faces. Okay. Have a good night. Thank you.